it would help if I unmuted my mic button. I'll transition on over. Welcome everybody to the Sunday night stream. I know it's a little bit later than we typically stream, but with football days, well, American football that is, I typically start the streams a little bit later on Sundays. The way the season's going, I don't know how much longer that's going to last. But I do appreciate y'all's patience on Sundays because they've been a little bit topsy-turvy, different than normal. But I am so glad for those of you who are here because tomorrow already have the video planned. Excited about that. Kind of coming. Been doing a lot of stuff as kind of like requested by player type events or type series and videos. And we're doing one of those tomorrow. Well, tonight I want to really go over that event that we just looked at or I briefly brought up and talk about the value, if there is any, which y'all please don't me forget. Tonight, I've got to speed up some away teams. Don't let me forget I got to finish this because I desperately need the lithium. We'll go over the Weyoun, which I will go ahead and forewarn you, really does vary based on where you are in the game. And specifically, I mean that by what server you're on. Where is your game economy? But we're going to talk the math about that. We're going to talk about the math of Weyoun. And me and DJ got into a big discussion with this, and I don't like this. This month is better than I think a lot of people get mathematically. I still don't like it, though. Sean, Wheel of Time, I'm in the middle of book 3. So I've already made it through the first 2 books in the middle of book 3. Main event Mark. Awesome to hear about your epic ship. Congratulations. I'm glad that you're here. Also, welcome into everybody else who's here to the channel today. So how many people in the chat, hey Joseph, how you doing? How many people in the chat have finished their Recruit Weyoun epic SMS? I obviously have. You can see it here on the board right behind me. I do need to do the Catch or Sell White. I need to finish that to get Pawn. But I did the Heroic Spend event, which is exactly what it is. It's a Heroic Spend event. For me, I had to spend 40,700 uncommon was what I would have had to have done to complete it. Now, doing this means that I get 8 Weyoun shards and then enough for 8 pulls. Even though they haven't changed the description on this, great job, Scopely, 8 pulls of the Legate's Decree. Now, the idea behind this is that 4 million points, depending on your server. Kinnaman, good to see you, by the way. Good to see you, Kinnaman. Depending on your server, 4 million points could place you anywhere from 50th to maybe a top 10, but definitely not top 5 in most brackets. I'm very curious where everybody else is. The key for the value of this comes down to your RNG. Here's what I mean by new RNG or your RNG. For me, 4 million points would probably get me a top 10 finish in my bracket on my server. That means that I would have been getting probably at least a third of Weyoun. But that's my server. I know DJ with 4 million points would even get in the top 20 for his bracket. But the key comes down to the RNG of this right here. This recruit event that you get with the Legates. Wrong one, sorry. This one right here. Now, in theory, if you pull 8, given the RNG, you should end up with somewhere between 10 and 20 shards from this 8 pulls. If you manage to get, say, 8 per, so if you averaged 1 Weyoun shard per pull, and you got 8, that's really on the low end. Should. That varies, again. But I talked to some players who only got 6 or 7 shards. I ended up getting, I was talking to you, I think I got 12 or 13, which is still low. And yeah, I got 12, I'm pretty sure. And I ended up with 20 wound shards, I think. No, I've got 28. So there's actually my count right there. So yeah, that's exactly what I got. 20 plus 8, so I got 28. Which is still less than a third of an officer, but very close to an officer. It's right in front of my face. I don't know why I even guessed. Now, if you would have gotten 30 shards from the RNG, then this was a good value for 4 million points, depending on your level. But here's the argument that's going to come from Scopely. Scope is going to be like, well, if you got this, you're going to get 8 epic shards plus 80 shards that can be anything. And it goes like that Family Guy segment where, you know, do you want the boat or do you want the mystery box that could be anything? It could even be a boat. And yes, technically, there has been people who have full pulled Weyoun. Shout out to the people who full pulled Weyoun. I semi-hate you, semi-love you. But realistically, how many shards are you getting? Because for 8 pulls, you could have ended up with 7 shards, or you could have ended up with 24 shards, or you could have ended up with a full pull. And this is what I don't like about it. I don't like putting a player's mat spin behind RNG because it can make you feel really, really awful. As a player, that is not something that's going to build positive sentiment. And the reason I bring up positive sentiment is we are in month 3 of what has been a huge letdown for many players. Now, if you disagree with anything that I'm saying, you are more than welcome to chime up. Most people would probably say negative. Andrew says that they just did 4 pulls and got 8 Weyoun, but they're much happier with the Cath because they can level up. So getting 8 Weyoun from 4 means that you probably only finished 3 levels. So you've now gotten 8 Weyoun shards, spending, depending on where you're at, Andrew, if you were near my bracket, you probably had to spend, what, 2.5 million points to do that? 3 million points? Yeah, I had to spend 2 million points to do that. So where did you end up at spending? And are you going to finish this event? Maine says, I'm only at 23 Weyoun shards after the event. Now, Maine, you're probably, going by what you said earlier, you're probably around level 34 or so, right? And one of the biggest things that I was talking about with DJ is like, hey man, I just feel like this really hurts, especially the average player, forcing them behind an RNG wall. Now, I do think that this month is better than last month for this sourcing, but I also think that's a very low bar. I think the Gold Ducat month was easily one of the worst months in terms of officer sourcing we've ever seen. Now, I will say that when it came to spenders, a lot of spenders loved last month. And it's obvious why they loved last month, because if you were a heavy spender, you could have spent a couple $100 and end up with an officer that a lot of times a spend event, like a leaderboard event, would have cost you up to thousands. And I know plenty of people who have spent thousands to win leaderboard. Y'all could talk about that's a ridiculous amount, whatever. People do it. So for a lot of spenders, last month's style was cheaper for them and encouraged more people to get involved. But I still think because we're talking about a month that's been so negative sentiment, it's rough. Depending on your RNG, to answer the question of the stream, it can be great. Like there's 3 of these heroic SMSs, 3 of them. So obviously we need to average 33-ish shards to unlock Weyoun fully. That's a little difficult to imagine. Obviously you have to get 34 on one of those. Difficult to imagine doing. The rebuttal to that is the goal is never to free-to-play unlock a epic in 1 month. Leaderboards make it a little bit easier to try to attempt that. But I want to say that I think it's still too stingy. And this is the feedback that I pushed to the dev team this weekend. This is the feedback that I know the moderator team pushed to the dev team this weekend. A lot of us pushed this idea that, look, and we talked about it on Twitch Saturday, if I remember right, when we were having like a rough stream, but we talked about it a little bit. Or Friday, I remember which. It's not the worst math, but it's the fact that you're locking the unlock essentially behind RNG or spending. Because as predicted, you do have spending this month by going in and getting the packs. Now, I do want to say this real quick. If you are a spender, do not take this as Rev saying you need to go out and spend. However, hear me out for a second. This month's $100 battle pass. Y'all know usually I say $20 battle pass only. I never really like the value of the $100 battle pass. This particular month, the battle pass is a good $100 value. This month. Now, if y'all remember, a lot of months, the only thing that'll be here is the battle pass, 20 shards, and a little bit of platinum. This month, the $100 battle pass is a little bit more valuable considering you have 2 different types of armadas. You've got 1 of each regular type of armada. Then you've got 1 of each solo armada in there. So 6 armadas, Weyoun shards, the epic battle pass, independent credits, The orb splinters, which you would have to need that if you got the war shields for your miner, and then all these other things. So the $100 battle pass, if you're curious, good value. Or just get the $20 one, or don't get a battle pass at all. But y'all do usually ask if it's valuable or not. This 100 BP, the reason this one's important is of the months to buy a $100 battle pass that'll probably make sure that you get Weyoun this month. This one probably makes sure that you get Weyoun this month. If you can do 3 heroic SMSs and this, you'll end up with Weyoun. The math of that is pretty simple. If you're getting 8 pulls of Weyoun, you're at minimum probably going to average getting, I would say, 12 shards. At least you should average that. That's a low estimate. You should average preferably around 25 to 30. And if that's what you do, then Weyoun will be enough to top it off. And then of course you'll have the battle pass, which does have a few Weyoun shards in the bottom track. We'll pull up the battle pass real quick. If you look at here, there's 3 Weyoun shards there. There's 1 up top, there's 10 here. So if you got that and you got the heroic SMSs done, this battle pass would give you Weyoun if that's what you're wanting to do. Again, this is up to you to decide if that's worth buying it for yourself. I'm not telling you what to do either direction, but this month's $100 battle pass, a little bit more valuable than normal. Wire says, I want to say I got 20 something shards off your 8 chests. And see, that's the good RNG. If you got 20 something, if you got a minimum of 20 from the pulls plus the 8, you get 28. You multiply 28 by 3, 84. Then you bought this. You've unlocked Weyoun. Now, I did not see a ton of that. I see people get full pulls, and then I had people like Godfather Tribble who got, I think, 7 shards. 7 total shards. Like Mr. Is that you, Mr. Flippo, or did you got 7? Or is it 2 people now got 7? So RNG nuts, by the way, stands for random number generator. It's how games determine chance. It's the percentage and probability you have of completing a task. So 7 means that it's a possibility to only get 7. Now I got more than 7, but did every other player get more than 7? And that's the difficulty of this style of event. And this is the problem with this style of event, is it means that even if you don't intend it, somebody's going to feel screwed. It's a possibility to get 0, but I've not seen that happen. I've not seen anybody, I'm sorry, end up with none. I've not seen that. It is technically possible, but I've not seen it. Should you buy more resources for the SMSs or buy Weyoun packs? I'm always going to answer that with saying, go after the materials. Weyoun as an officer will have some form of sourcing, like the incursion store, and we can complain about the incursion store, the payments, etc., blah, 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 blah. But officers have future sourcing. Uncommons are the hardest thing to get. Weyoun is not even the most amazing officer in the world. Weyoun's not the most amazing officer. Like, Weyoun is not this game-changing, you're now the strongest player on your server because you got Weyoun. That doesn't mean that Weyoun's bad. It just means that he's not that level of game changer. Whereas if you bought a $100 treasury pack this month, depending on how the treasury's laid out, that can have a lot more value for you than just going after Weyoun. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Weyoun, and I think the Strike Team Explorer set, I've already had a few people start sending me logs. I think they're okay. I think of the 3, my current opinion is that Strike Team Explorer is the weakest of the 3 strike teams. That doesn't make them the worst. That doesn't make them bad, but I think they're probably the weakest of the 3. So keep that in mind too if you're debating what has more value. A lot of problems getting more points to lead expeditions. Any advice? So my lead expedition crew, and this is a quick little pivot, but just to answer the question, my lead expedition crew is Nero, Kirk, and Pan. You could use Avix instead if you wanted to. Oops, my bad. I'm so sorry. You can use Avix instead if you want to save Kirk for staying on your ship like your Enterprise. And you need to upgrade those traits. And then you need to have stat stacking. So one of the reasons I don't use Avix is my Kirk is a lot higher stats, which means I get more in return. So traits determine your critical chance percentage. Stats determine getting 100% and then how much more you get in terms of the multiplier up here. So keep those things in mind as you're deciding how you want to go about that. Let me go ahead and put these in here. See, maybe I can get 300 coke because I need them. I favor Explorer ships, but I'm not investing in this strike team. I'm not going hard after the strike team. If I get them, I get them, but I'm not like going hardcore to unlock them. If it happens, and I'll be cool. New crew. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to throw a fit about it either. I don't honestly care either way. Did you say if Weyoun has synergy, his morale is 100%? Weyoun's synergy is, here, let me pull up, because I didn't say that. We haven't done a video on Weyoun. I haven't done a video on Weyoun. His max synergy is 100% though, yes. So he has a 20% chance to apply morale for 8 rounds on combat start when fighting against players. Why limit it to 8 rounds, by the way? A lot of PvP fights go longer than 8 rounds. But if he has 1 science officer, 1 engineering officer, he will have a 100% chance of morale will activate. The then problem becomes, well, it's only 8 rounds. Some PvP fights, that's enough. Some PvP fights, that's not enough. So some it is, some it isn't. It's a good stream. I owe you a resub and some more tavern rant apologies. Hey, thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. But I'm here to go through the math and here to go. Wait, do I have 3 of these? I could have sworn I just started that. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting easily distracted. I could have sworn that. Oh, I started another Address the High Council. That's what I did. Okay. Well, I'm not going to critical that one. I'm probably not even going to get it. I meant to start this, the Blood Wine contest. Whoopsies. I was wondering why that other one didn't hit max percentage. So, also been meaning to give you a hard time. Ops 39 on my M score is 101. Good, Nathan. I'm proud of you. I have not worked on my M score in a couple of weeks. I have been trying to get better at it. I do think I've gotten better at it. I'm at like 61 to 64, something like that. A few months ago, I was in the 40s. But yeah, it's I do really try to stress everybody, work on your Stella, don't do like Rep. The strat will be to outlast for 8 rounds against this crew. So Giovanni, which you typically find against strike team crews so far, like if you want to beat the interceptors, mitigation builds are really big. If you want to beat the battleship crew, critical builds and hitting really hard, really fast are big. It depends on what ship you're on. And that does add a little bit of parity. The strike team battleship crew, in my opinion, is the strongest of the 3 and the hardest to beat and the most versatile because the best officer, to me, of that set is the rare Una. Strike team Milan, very good, but Una, amazing. So there. I'll be a week 35, but then get to work on the Bajoran store. Bajoran store is very important. Cross 16 million power at 35. Nice, Hellcat. Congratulations. Ops 44, M123, probably where I was supposed to be. Giovanni, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, you'd max out at like 150. So you're right where you need to be. You're doing a good job. You should be proud of yourself. You're not as bad as Rev. Congratulations. Strain Tuna is amazing. I wouldn't say that she's OP, but she is really good. It's easier to counter the full strike team than it is to counter her by herself. Just managed to get my cell up to tier 7, level 35 for the first time. Saved up enough to re-tier it, and now scrapping only M21, but higher soon. Nice wire speed. If you don't have uranium unlocked, or the epics, you take it as high as the rare will allow you, and then scrap. Should I just go from level 33 to 35 to buy the Defiant and start working on the Bajoran store? Oh, you actually were trying to ask a question. I missed the first part. I would say that if I had to choose between being level 33 and being 35, I would definitely go to 35. As far as buying the Defiant, I don't know if the Defiant is worth buying right now. I do think that starting to work on unlocking the Defiant is important. The current unlock path, you cannot get a Defiant without really amazing results or spending money. You can't get a Defiant pull every day at 35. You can get it, I think, right around 5 days a week. So it's not a full 1-to-1 or 1 day equals 1 shard sourcing there. But I would recommend getting to 35 because there's nothing for you at 33. And this game very clearly is leveling itself to or showing that it's focusing on levels as you keep going up. So. But the Defiant's an okay ship. It's getting a lot of feedback to the dev team. It seems like they're going to make it stronger, but I can't guarantee that or what that strength equals. And what I mean by that is, like, one of the biggest complaints is that 5-star. And please, y'all, when we made our Defiant video, put your feedback in it so that we can show the dev team, hey, here's what players are saying about this. But overall, a big piece of feedback was that 5-star for the Defiant was basically pointless. So I expect there to be something like a Bajoran favor that comes out that makes the Defiant better for higher levels. I don't know if they're going to do that for a lower level. Yeah, you have to be a militia to Bajoran faction start collecting BPs. This is true Tomb World, and I hit militia before this arc started. It's one of the things I wanted to do. So that was a big thing for me. And whoopsies. I went off the screen with my arrow there. Let's see if we can get this 35. Everybody trying to grind Eclipses today. Don't think a lower level needs it. I would say this. The maximum tier that you can take a Defiant in the 30s is tier 3 at level 38. A tier 3 Defiant really isn't good. It's just not that great. For me, my max tier is tier 6. My tier 6 Defiant, if I had one, I don't have a Defiant that high yet, would be a pretty solid ship, but it would be an amazing ship. For now, the Defiant is a little lackluster while being really good. The Defiant, honestly, is a Cerritos. It's a Cerritos that can be more with a Cerritos if you want it to be, but you're probably not going to make it that way. So, trying on that. Nate, congrats. If you can get your Defiant in 94 days, I'm excited for you. 100 days may seem like a long grind time. That's actually better than several other ships in the game right now. So, for example, the Meridian. Bajoran Store 35 is great for the favors. Defiant not needed. I agree, Richard. I think the Defiant is cool to have. It is not needed. It is really cool to have it, though. And there's something to be said for having something that you just enjoy. It's like if you're out there and you love the Defiant because you love Deep Space Nine and you're saying, hey, should I buy it? If you love it, it is a good ship. It does what it's currently supposed to do. It feels lackluster because we expect the Defiant to do more, but it's not a bad ship. So if you want to buy it, go ahead. Nobody's going to shame you on it. At least I'm not going to shame you on it. There's nothing wrong with buying the Defiant. There is something wrong with me not being able to... Oh, gosh. I guess I'm going to have to camp the spot. Too many people. Defiant's the biggest disappointment from a game that specializes in disappointment. If I get it, great. No way I'll spend money on it. I wouldn't go that far, Daniel. It's not that level of disappointment. The Defiant's not that level of disappointment. I told the devs this. And I told Eco this. I told Game Design this. That if the Defiant was any other ship, like if it was just an Akira class Star Trek, Akira class Federation ship, I would have zero problem with how it's designed. I really wouldn't. Because it's the Defiant, I expect more. It's not a bad design. It's bad being the Defiant. Exactly what Johnny said. It is a good ship. Like in terms of a specialty ship, it has enough to where it can be used besides just being a one-trick pony. It is strong enough to technically be used besides that. You can use it in multiple layers of armadas, but you expect more from the Defiant. Wayne says, I disagree. Defiant looks amazing. I love the ship, but the ship in the game is trash. Spent $100 tier 1. Can't even include in my armadas yet. Again, where are you at level wise? Are you level 35? Or are you level, what level are you, Weyoun? Because it needs to be good at your tier. In the 40s, if you have it tiered to the tier where you're supposed to be, it's good. It's like at level 44, a tier 6 Defiant is actually really good. Ops 39, so yeah, you need a tier 3 to even be able to see basic levels of good. And you'll probably get it at tier 3 with the research being where it needs to be, and you being tier 3, your Defiant would probably be your third solo armada ship. And it would definitely help with the buffs, assuming you've leveled them up. But at tier 1, yeah, it feels underwhelming. Jason says, unless you're over Ops 35 with a wallet, you're forever playing catch up, always grinding, never just playing the game for enjoyment. Jason, to an extent I agree, but I keep telling people, stop letting the game determine that for you. because this game has so much. Just enjoy and set your own pace. I'm really trying to get people to buy into that. How long do you have to wait for an Ops 44 or 45? Are you asking how long it takes to level it up? Because I can actually tell you that answer. If you're curious how long it takes to level it up, I can tell you that answer if that's what you're asking. If that's what you're asking, I can tell you how many days it takes. If you buy the upgrade pack, how many levels does it give? So if you have a tier 1 Defiant and you buy the pack, the first pack it gives you, it'll take you to tier 3. So if you get the Defiant and then you buy the upgrade pack, the $100 upgrade pack will take you to tier 3. Good evening, Norwich. How you doing? So Nick, for the Defiant to be relevant at level 44/45, you really need it to be around tier 6. Now, here's how long that'll take if you did your upgrades just every day. If you didn't buy a pack and you did your pulls every single day, it would take you. So hold on, I'm doing some quick math because Jules Verne put this sheet together. 144 days to get to tier 6. I'm sorry, that's tier 5. 52. 196 days to get to tier 6. 196 days if you didn't buy a pack. So if you were if you're level 44 and you just got your Defiant, you've got a long grind before it starts becoming the ship you want it to be without spending. The people that are actually in the best spot, honest to God, is if you're in the 30s right now, the Defiant is going to feel like less of a grind. You're in the best spot. You're in the best spot because, for example, to go from to finish tier 5 is 45 days worth of a blade of armor accumulation. It's a lot. That's a lot. So, yeah. But I do have that pulled up, and I can actually. Here, let me message him and see if it's done yet. I'm gonna see if the other chart is done yet before I share it. But if you're in the 30s and the Defiant can grow with you, you're gonna be a far less disappointed player than if you're at my level. Morgun says, is there a Bajoran favor acquisition event this month, or can I buy favor now and not regret it tomorrow? Let me pull up the calendar real quick. Here, there's a, who sent, do we still have a calendar saved in my Discord? We had one last month. I did not pin one this month. I know a player made one, but let me see if there's one pinned. No, so I need to go find one. Does anybody have one handy they could Discord message me real quick? Does anybody have a calendar they can Discord message me real quick? Cosmo says I don't care anymore. Again, and I really try to harp on this. You determine your level of fun. Stop letting Scopely say you've got to have this. Every game like this, because it's not just Star Trek Fleet Command, tries to operate on the concept of FOMO, fear of missing out. You're not going to miss out on the Defiant if you don't have it today, and it ain't going to kill you if it ain't tier 6 a day. Let the process happen naturally. Don't let them twist your arm into spending money. I spent $200 this month because I wanted y'all to see everything first. I wanted y'all to be able to look at it. So don't feel like you've got to rush up and do that yourself. Nick says they have buyer's remorse, spent hundreds more to make it relevant now, or wait 5 months when I've already be working in the 3 new ships they've added since. There will not be 3 new ships in the next 5 months, just FYI. But at least there's not 3 new ships planned right now. But I mean, I get the point that you're making, Nick. I will say this: the Defiant scales very well. And yeah, Paulo, if you can send me one, I would appreciate it. I think Boxer just sent me one. Yeah, Boxer, thank you. Put this calendar up. So we were looking to see if there was a Bajoran favor event. And let me look real quick on here. Do not see Bajoran favored. I do not see a Bajoran favor event. Do not see one. Monday. Yeah. So I think y'all are good. Somebody did ask earlier, how many more Weyoun events do we have? We have 2 more. Has the roadmap come up yet? No, it has not. I'll have a video about that when it does. I've been waiting on it. I've been bugging them about it. We're about 2 weeks late on the roadmap. I'm still waiting on that to get pushed through. Follow Boxer, both of y'all, thank you. I will put this in my Discord and pin it. And who made this one? I don't remember the player. I've seen this one before, but I'd like to tag them and give them credit. If y'all can remind me who made this, Boxer or Paulo. I'm gonna go put it in the Star Trek Fleet Command main channel. I'll pin it and let them get credit for sure. Staying on top of them, of course, Jennifer, because every 6 months they've been putting out a roadmap. We're due for one now. Hold off on buying favors. It's great for domination or research events. I can't, dude. Some of the favors that I'm picking up are not worth waiting on. For example, the favor that gives me 500 Syndicate XP a day. I'm very happy I did not wait for that. This is something worth getting every day, and this is a favor. Yes, they help with your research events, because if y'all don't know the trick with domination style events, research events, the first research of every set typically gives you the most power. So yes, that's good. But I would strongly recommend not waiting just for the sake of waiting, even though Bajoran Construction will give you an 84,000 power jump. If you want something like Prophet's Reward or Prophet's Gift, which I was just referring to and everything, go after it. Don't wait on it. My personal opinion. That's not to say that that strategy isn't effective. I would just say that you're better off doing it, getting some of these things quickly. Now, after you get some of the big ones, then maybe you can argue that you can wait. But some of these are just really good. Like, y'all really want to wait for Prophet's Reward number 2, which is increasing my uncommon, rare, and solo Armada credits that drop. Do I really want to wait for that? I don't know if I do. I don't honestly know if I do. Any update to the suggested 48 bolster finder of the 7.2? Nope. No update. I would already have made a video about it if they were going to change that out. The way this year's gone, I'm no longer going to be playing for the arcs. What do you mean? Or do you mean paying for the arcs with the battle pass? But another one, like for example, Prophet's Tribute is one that I actually really like, especially if you're a mid-level player, 30s or 40s. Really like that one. Prophet's Gift is 1900, I think. If I remember right, Prophet's Gift is 1900. So let me get these real quick because I need plasma conduits and a blade of armor parts. I need both of these. So I got to pull those every day. And I got to do this every day. I still got to grind. Y'all haven't done the grinding today, but I am trying to get this limited amplifiers claim. I don't know how long it's going to last, but get that freebie every day. And this is for the research. And then I need to go do Armadas. We might do Armadas tonight together. I don't know. Hostile exchange. I get my full pull in. 318 badges. Get my credit exchange. Get some more of those. Uncommon loot exchange, I don't think I can do. Elite loot exchange, I can't do. I got to go do more Armada. All right, cool. Now, I will say, and I talked about this, and I said in the video, one thing about the Defiant that is valuable is how it gives you better edict drops. You will get a lot more Solo Armada edicts from the Dominion Solo Armada edict drop, which is really useful for this. Again, this is something that we're talking about with like level 40s players, but this is really good. Edict dropping is very good. So it does have some value. Let me get all my pulls in while we're sitting here. Playing through the arc events to unlock as much as I can and going to stick to my game plan to level up. That's smart. Yeah, absolutely smart. Definitely do that. I need more independent credits, especially since I spent on Crush the other day. Get directives. All right. Recall. Sorry, just so many different things to click real quick. I want to make sure I'm clicking all the things. The wall 4-star is uncommon and rare ship parts, not the mats. Well, Giovanni, when you refer to mats, uncommon is a mat. I think you mean resources. Unless you said something earlier that I missed. House 42 can kill rare 47s with Armada. I can kill a rare 47 without the 300 damage exo, but I can't kill it using my Defiant, which is a big deal. Joseph, what level are you if you can't defeat a solo R yet? The big thing with the solo armadas is obviously stats, but also where your ships are at and where your officers are at. And I need more of those. Don't have enough for that. Okay, so a couple more days before I can do another part on the Defiant. Let's see. Need another ship. So Sean, what ships are you running? Because I've seen people beat solo armadas running with Saladins and Centurions. So ship parts are a wall, Giovanni. I wouldn't say more of a wall because most players aren't taking their ships super high. And if you're scrapping very regularly, that's not as big of a problem. I do agree that it is part of the problem. And congrats, Boxer, on getting those pures maxed out. You're trying to plow through 39, then doing a long camp. Oh, 38, but you're behind ships trying to get to 39, then camp. Makes sense, Joseph. So, again, your playstyle can affect how effective you are in solo Armada, for sure. And, look, I think that's okay. You know, it's again, it goes back to what I said earlier. The fear of missing out is what we really have to make sure. We don't let Scopely trick us into believing we have to have or do something at any given moment. No, it's really something I try to defend players against and try to hopefully help lead them away from is you don't need to have all this. I promise you. Don't forget Anomalous Phenomenon. Booper, thank you for the reminder because I legitimately have not done Anomalous Phenomenon. So let me go do that. I'm actually going to do that now. You reminded me. Thank you. I appreciate that because pulls are important. I have not done that. I've not done Swarm Sunday either. I waited till tonight just because, well, had football earlier. I know I got my football channel for my football show, but had the kids that we just put to bed about an hour ago. There's 3 of them. They're all little demons. If you're out there curious, should you have children, I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying know that you won't be happy very often while they're under 5 years old. Oh my gosh, they're headaches. I love them to death. There's a rant you weren't expecting. Glam says somehow only had enough. Okay, it's for somebody else. Nick says unlocked Bajoran favor a few days ago. Love the G4 token space with 5 mil nodes. Also love the daily Bajoran credit favor. Nice, Nick. Nice. Thank you, Booper. Again. Oh, dang it. Somebody beat me to it. All right, what else? I tried a 35 solar model with just my Enterprise. That is 1 weapon from max and came out with 1 mil hole left. Nice, Dennis. Why didn't you go ahead and use 3? It doesn't hurt you to use 3 ships and probably wouldn't have hurt your poor Enterprise as much. Wouldn't have hurt your poor Enterprise as much. Is there a reason you only did 1 ship? Was there a gift chest or something for the Matrix Diode? Only had 50. No gift chest. The milestone 12, I think, has... It's either milestone 12 or 14 has the Matrix Diodes in it. Now, some players got extra Matrix Diodes from an event store recently, or they didn't spend them in a previous month, allowing them to start those missions early. OG Boxer, it's capped to force you to level up. You just want to see if the Enterprise can do its own? Fair enough. Fair enough. That's good enough logic as any. Good enough logic as any. Territory. Oh, why can I pull the... that's confusing. No problem, Chief. Do we know who the spy is yet? No, that information has not been revealed. We're still trying to figure that out. Information has not been revealed. And, okay, I've done all those pulls. What's the cap? So Boxer, I think, which prime are you talking about? Because there's a couple of prime ores. There's a couple of them. Which one? Missions are easy enough. I did them on Op 29, but the meta is Op 35 plus, so no avatar for complete. Wolfwood espionage is. Also forgot there's another upgrade, the Defiant SLB, coming up in 2 weeks. I don't see it on this calendar quick glancing. I know there's supposed to be something this month for that though. I have to talk to the dev who's in charge of that and see, but there is supposed to be something with that this month. I have to follow up with them and probably have them. I'm sure they told me and I just have forgotten. But my last Guinness, nice. Should upgrade to 26 before all possible ships are maxed. Maxing your ships is not that important at 26, Morphin. So I would say yes. At 26, the only ships you have worth maxing are that you can max is the Vidar. Nothing else that you can literally max at 26. So, how you doing with your Weyoun SMS? I completed it. Booper. Its value will be determined by your RNG on those pulls, which is why I dislike it. If you get 20 or more shards from the 8 pulls from Legate's Decree, then it's probably a good value. If you get less than that, it's probably not a good value. That's basically what the math comes down to. If the RNG gives you 20 Weyoun shards from the 8 Legate Decree pulls, then it was probably worth it for 4 million points. If you do not get that, it's pretty undervalued. Like some people got 7. Forbes, I do not recommend maxing a level 26 ship at 26 because you can't get the efficiencies yet. Max them at 34. You'll actually save several hundred uncommon by waiting to level 34 to max at 26, personal opinion. If you don't care about that, then go for it. Is that legally considered gambling? No. You're not going to catch them on a loophole and have them change their ways because of gambling, I promise you. 20 just from the labors, 20 included. No, Kyle, for the math, in my opinion, to make the Weyoun SMS viable, you should get 20 from just the pulls. If you get 20 from just the pulls, that means that if you did there's 3 Weyoun SMS events. There's 3. If you get 28 each time, that's going to bring you up to 84. And that will get you pretty dang close to an unlock. And that meant that I would spend 12 million points. 12 million points is about what I would have to spend to win a leaderboard. So it's still not perfect, but it's at least closer. But again, this actually points out the problem because you need really strong RNG to make that happen. That's showing the problem with it. Because a lot of players aren't getting at least 20. If you get more than that Weyoun shards, like if you got 30 total Weyoun shards, you got 40 somehow, or you full pulled, then you won the lottery. You did great. The RNG benefited you. But if you're like Michael and you got 6 plus 8, you got 14, you got screwed. That means that you're going to end up with what? 42? That's terrible for 12 mil points. And that's why I don't like it, because you're locking the unlock behind RNG, and the only way to fix that RNG if it's bad is to spin. And I don't like that. I don't think players like it either. Dave, that's random. Sorry to hear that, buddy. I'm still here for you though, and I love you. I'm still here for you and I love you. You happy they included Damar in that recruit chest since I haven't unlocked him yet? I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. So, I love 27. I got 49 epic shards, including 21 Weyoun this round from what I would not have placed me top 5. And see, there you go, Justin. That math that you just pointed out, like that logic, made it worth it for you. Personally, I don't care about the 80 shards total I get from those pulls, because it's mostly officers that I don't need or don't need to level up. And most players don't. At level 27, it's actually great for you. It's really good if you're a newer player to the game. And you now can pull 80 shards and get just about anything. Almost all these are, I mean, Sela has no real value in the game. Most of these other officers do. Quark has value. Riker's got value. Picard's got value. Goldacot's got value. Weyoun's got value. Geordi's got late game value. Deanna Troi, limited, but technically value. I mean, there's definitely value here for a lower or mid-tier player. But if you're up in the 40s or 50s, basically you are making it very difficult to get the main character of the month. So again, it varies by where you're at. And I feel like thigh gaps. Okay, I was like, is he going to come pop me while I'm trying to grind? Actually, I just spilled. Like, I should recall so I can get this loot in. I'm gonna spend mass regardless to tier up ships or modules or whatever. The cost is irrelevant. It's relevant to me because I had to spend 40,000 uncommon. I'm not just going to randomly spend 40,000 uncommon. What was it? Level 39 had to spend 30,000 uncommon. I'm not just going to randomly spend that. I'm going to need a purpose. So it does matter to me. Yeah, Dave, I've got no idea what you're talking about, but you know you're always welcome here, and I love you. And yeah, wait, I got messages from Agent Necro. Okay, server 26, shout out. Thank you, Paulo. I just now saw your message about the calendar. Shout out Agent Necro. Is he in my Discord? I don't know if he is. I think. Let's see. But yeah, I'll go ahead and pin this in my Discord. If y'all need the calendar for this month, it is now pinned in the STFC channel of my Discord. If you need the calendar. Let's see what RBV needs real quick. Oh, a correction. Thank you, RBV. Thank you for sending this. Prophet's gift I said was 1,900. It's actually 2,100 Bajoran credits. 2,100. I said 1,900 earlier. So thank you for shooting me that correction, RBV. I appreciate it. I really do. Y'all are so kind. So kind. All right. Are you going to do 46 during this SMS or wait for an SLB? I'm definitely going to go to 45. I don't know if I'm going to 46, but I'm definitely going to go to 45. Mops 47 Alliance Mate prefers SLB since his bracket is very small. This SMS has milestones that don't change, but if it was an SLB, he would have had to spend significantly less. That's his complaint. And I get that, Giovanni. Again, though, this is going, and I talked about this at the beginning of the video, and I'm not saying this in a way that like I agree with this style, but I'll also say that whether you love it or hate it depends very strongly based on where you're at and what server you're on and your bracket. Because there are a lot of players in my situation that 4 million points is not going to do jack diddly kumquat for them when it comes to an SLB. So them getting, you know, let's just say that you got the 28 shards means that they ended up better. But it really, like Dark Realm says, they just got 3 Weyoun shards. If you got that level of bad RNG, you're getting hella screwed. And this is why I don't like it. I would rather have a guaranteed amount than an unknown amount. Personal opinion. And maybe I'm alone in that. Because as we talked about, there's a couple players who really get excited that they're getting 80 shards, even if they're not all Weyoun. So they're getting more officer fill out. And there is value in filling out your other officers. Like I wish I could take Kath to the next tier. I really do. So there is some value in it. Okay, I completed Clear the Coast. Let me go do hostile grinding. Let's get our Valdor out here and we'll go grind some hostiles for faction. Since the game seems to want everyone at 35, any changes to your soft camp 39? Not really, Sean. And this is also why we do a soft camp. It's not meant to you sit there for months. You hit the main points and you move on. But no, nothing's really changed. I mean, it's been a while since I made some of those videos. It's more about hitting key things and moving as efficiently as you can. So you're close to max cath. I wish I was. Sadly, I am not. My cath RNG has not been great. Cath RNG has not been great. 4 million points probably wouldn't get me into the top 50 for my bracket on S34. Yeah, exactly. Ed, exactly. Again, varies person to person. Going to vary strongly person to person. Event store for the month of December, we'll just have to wait and see. Beef, I'm not allowed to tell you yes or no on that. Not allowed to answer yes or no, my friend. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, I'm not going to bring Kira here, but I do want to go do an Armada. So, do I have an Armada? I just need any Armada officer laying around. Literally any Armada officer. Not Kira, because I'm going to do an Eclipse Armada, and I don't want her breaking things. Any other Armada officer besides Kira. Beverly wouldn't make any sense. I guess I could steal Khan. No, I'll just use this one. It's already set up. Here. I'll just do this. We're going to try to hit a Eclipse Armada while we're waiting. Would the event be better if it had an SMS next to the heroic spending? Heroic SMSs are not going to have a partnered SMS, so no. They're not going to have a partnered SMS with them. Is there any way they could do an SLB that starts after the next SMS, as then you have to spend, say, 4 million in mass to qualify to even enter? No. No. Just throw the name Heroic on any event, easy money? Yes and no. Wish we have ways to earn more officer presets. I'm the guy who barely even uses it. Like, I use officer presets on my very last dock. That's it. What's the strategy of getting one shard of the Defiant a day? Never get enough of the currencies? So Remy, the only way that's possible is if you're in the 40s. If you're in the mid-high 30s, there's no way to get enough diplomacy tokens to do one a day every day. Currently not achievable. Oh, well, hey, thank you. Shout out to, let's see who this is. Trying to see if, let me check my email. I don't want to say your real name if you put like another name in there, but somebody just donated to the fund. It is David. David, thank you so much for supporting me and my family. I will update it here right now so that you can see it updated on the screen. Thank you. If anybody else would like to support the channel, you can do that several different ways. You can like the video, helps out, or you can hit one of these donate links, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. All of it really, really helps out, and I greatly appreciate it. My family greatly appreciates it. So a big thank you. And David, you must be from overseas because this came in as a random amount, unless you are kind of like Kinky Jesus, who just likes to put in random amounts. But I just want to say a big thank you. And let me put it in. Thank you so much. Especially after we spent so much on the Defiant this past week. It's nice for that to come in. I appreciate that $11. Is Heroic Weyoun SMS worth it? Wayne, short answer. Obviously, you can go back and rewatch the video for the full math. Short answer is, I don't like it, but it can be. It all depends on your RNG. So if you pull at least 20 officer shards out of the Dominion recruit, because if you complete the SMS, you'll get 8 pulls here. If these 8 pulls result in 20 or more Weyoun shards, the answer is yes. If it does not, then no. Like if you get 7 or 3, like somebody in chat, then no, it's not worth it. If you get 20 or more, which is definitely possible, then yes, it was worth it. That's the basic math of it. I still don't like it, but that's the math that supports it being worth it. Ops 42 have my Kelvin and Valdor. Will be camping at 42 for a while. Would like to get the Katinga. Next ships I'd like are the Pilum and Enterprise A. Nice, Dale. Nice. Yay, somebody's coming. Woohoo. I also really need to do, I also could really use Oh man, Ordrin, thank you, dude. Ordrin, thank you so much. I'm sorry to hear that you've been sick though. I'm gonna update it here on the thing. Thank you so much, Ordrin. I'm waiting to make sure these shirts that we just sent out. Really, man, I appreciate it. You've been doing this so consistently, and Ordrin, I really can't express how much it means to me because of how rough things have been lately. So thank you so much. I just put it up here. Thank you for supporting me and my family, Ordrin. Why get all the uncommon ships? I think the answer is simple, Paulo. Why? Because it's fun. This is what's the point of being here. This dude ignores all my comments. KF, I can honestly say it's the first time I've seen your comment. Please keep in mind that there are almost 350 people here right now. I can't answer everybody. So if I miss your comment, then just repost. But I can promise you, I'm not intentionally ignoring anybody. Of the 18 officers offered, I only have 2 unlocked. So the 80 shards plus the 8 Weyoun is worth it to me. Yeah, Justin, you mentioned that earlier. You were the level 27, right? So that does make sense. And I get the math there. Again, it's just going to matter to you based on where you're at. I mean, if you're in the low 30s or upper 20s and you have the math to spend and that results in you getting that payout, then yeah, that's like, if my main account was in the 20s, I would love getting 80 shards. That's fantastic. So that definitely works out. Missed out on the opportunity is 69 cents, but maybe that's more of a Twitch thing. Probably a little bit more, Dave, but all's appreciated. He says lower the cost, remove the RNG. 120,000 G3 uncommon for RNG is trash. 120,000. Heath, what is your milestone? I've not seen anybody that's got to spend 120,000 except for like way up there. And the people who are way up there, well, I mean, oh, you're talking about adding them all together. Okay. You're talking about adding them all together. Okay, fair. So adding them all together, I wasn't adding them all together. I see what you're doing now. On many servers, I'm going to give you the logic. I'm not telling you I agree with it or not. I'm going to give you the logic. On most servers, to get in that first through third place SLB range in the 40s, you're going to need 12 million or more points. Like most servers, you're not going to spend like 8, 9, 10 million points and win or get second place. That doesn't mean it's that way for everybody. Again, this goes back to the RNG of the pulls. If you get the proper RNG, mathematically, it makes sense. But I still don't like it. I want to be very clear. I don't like this. I don't agree with it. And I already have provided feedback to them saying why I don't. But a lot of your yes, it's good or no, it's bad will depend on where you're at in your personal experience. So he says 12 million is a definite unlock where they are at Ops 42 on server 50 for the SLB. And that's fine. I tell you, for me, it's not on server 20. Or it's weird. 4 million would place me in the top 10 probably, but there are like 5 people who just hardcore go after officers, and they usually score any from 12 to 16 million points in the bracket. So that's just my server, but that's also about how it is for a lot of other places. That's not meant to say that that is the definite everywhere type of thing. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that this is the mathematical logic. I don't like this setup, and I have provided a lot of feedback to them, and not just me. I really want to shout out the official moderators, because every moderator came out and said the same thing that I'm saying. Kawhi, thank you so much for supporting me and my family. Just updated the chart. Thank you. Paying for the child care and everything else that we have going on. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Every single one of them came out and did the same thing. We came at them with math and talked about it. For some people, it will make sense mathematically. For many, it will not. I don't like it, and I am pushing for it to not be like that or not be this way next month. But it is better than last month. So, and Heath, you're right. I am on a Whaley server. No denying that. do want to point out that this game is mostly made up of whaley servers. This is a very high spin game. Good or bad. Oh, crap. I forgot. This was the Armadas. Woof. Oh, almost gave myself a little whoopsies. Almost gave myself a big old whoopsie. And come on, claim chest. Give me good. Yeah. I need to run this again. Only one person came. Let me run that back turbo real quick. If it's 4 million on all servers, isn't that just so fueled? And it's not blanket 4 million. It's 4 million for my level on every server. So it's based on level. Now, if you want to get into the pack argument, well, y'all already know that I've brought up the pack discrepancy for 2+ years. I have given up the pack discrepancy for 2+ years. I hate the pack discrepancy. I hate that older servers have way better pack value. If you are, is there anybody here who is on like server, is there a level 44 server 63 player here? Is there like a level or anywhere like in the past year or two? Just to give people a visual who don't know this, I do bring it up and I don't hide it. Let me give an example. We'll just go over to, let's just use a base pack that everybody would maybe buy. Here. Ultra Battleship pack. So Darren, if you're on server 75, I feel like I can almost guarantee that my Ultra Battleship pack, 3 levels below you, is a hell of a lot better than yours. I feel pretty strongly that mine is probably going to way out past yours. That is the pack discrepancy. Older servers have more stuff for the same price compared to new servers. Now, if you want to know the logic about why that is, it's because they want newer servers to have the same level of experience, i.e. spending, as old servers. But I can almost guarantee you that my pack here is greatly more valued than Darren's, even though he's 3 levels higher. He's on a far newer server. And I have spoken out against this for 2 years. I spoke out against this in 2020, and I literally got banned from, or got kicked out of the content creator program for talking about it. At this point, I just make it obvious. I've already talked about it. I can't get kicked out again for it. But yeah, pack discrepancy. Newer servers get less for the same amount of money. This is what it is. It's obviously not going to change, but it is what it is. Pack is 3 times the stuff I have. Again, the server I'm on has been in existence for almost 4 years. For almost 4 years. Far better? Yeah, I expected it to be, dear. Now, I will say, your server all has the same packs as you do. So, everybody on your server has the same pack. Everybody has the same pack. So, it's not unfair for who you're fighting. What does make it unfair, and I brought this up to the dev team and they're going to look into this for future runs, it does make it unfair in incursions if you go against a server that has different pack values than you. That immediately becomes unfair. So if you're on server 77 and let's say you fight server 63, which will probably have better pack values than you, that's not fair for your spending players. But if you are on the same server, well, Darren and Sydney are going to have the same pack. But it still sucks to see that Rev gets 8 times as much as I do just because he's played the game 2 years more. That wouldn't be a problem since you only interface with your server's players except for incursions. Exactly, Robert. Incursions makes that problem worse. Now, I personally think it's a problem even without incursions. I think that $1 should be $1. Personal take. I just think $1 should be $1. But because of incursions, it's really bad when incursions matches you with a server that has different value. This is something I have brought up with the dev team. Fielden, that's not the case because server 75 is a newer one. It's under a year, right at a year, under a year, right at a year. And his is obviously not near as good as mine. So unless like server 93 has got the old layout. But I'll be honest, I haven't seen that video. We beat server 63 because of the pack differences and they had more resources to take. There you go. Do you think that they'll have these epic officer chest loot as part of the event store at the end of the arc? I might be okay with the sourcing if I can use the special rare credits for a guaranteed pull. Doubt. Strongly doubt. How many crystals for the battleship pack? Sure. Well, there shouldn't be any crystal in the battleship pack, right? No, never mind. There should. Yeah, I'll pull it up for you. Now, keep in mind that server 20 should not fight server 75. Yeah, here you go. Here's your ore and the crystal. For whatever reason, my head was thinking gas. But so yeah, 554 rare in 1990, or 554 epic in 1990, 4-star rare. I specifically don't spend more than I have because the pack values are horrid. I focus on primes. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. My server still only one person gets jelly, no BP for second and third. Yeah, I hate servers that have that because my server, I think it's the top 5 places, gets some level of ISS jelly compensation. Some level of ISS jelly compensation. You only get 4,200 uncommon ore, get 12.5. So I get 3 times as much uncommon as you. Okay. But yeah, I mean, again, that's just, I bring it up and it would only be a serious issue as if you had to fight like my server, but obviously use it for your Valdor. I mean, I use some Pipe Moreau Chin right now to grind hostiles. Use some Pipe Moreau Chin at the moment. What's up, Streamlord? How you doing? Server 30. So yeah, David, server 30 came out July 2019. It's only about 6 months older than the game launched. The server 30 and 32 and 31 and everything have already been given the original pack values. Will Ultra Recruit tokens be used to get planetary tokens later? I have no current knowledge of that happening. Not to say that it won't, but I don't have any knowledge of it happening. I could get the epic officers if I saved and placed in 3 SLBs last 2 months. Yeah. Yeah. I'm level 39. When will I get 4-star materials in dailies or chest pools? Well, the dailies will be determined by your faction rep. So if you're talking about getting the ore and everything. Now, if you're talking about in your refinery, when you'll start pulling uncommon, you don't pull uncommon 4-star materials until level 41 in the refinery. Is it really an issue if any server is going against server 20? That's fair, because we are 0-5. So that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. I am wrong. I absolutely hate the Weyoun SMS event, or am I alone? You're definitely not alone, Denny. Definitely not alone. The simple answer is it comes down to the RNG of the Legate pulls. If you get at least 20 Weyoun shards, then it's a good value. If you don't, and the RNG screws you, then it's not good. Yeah, sure, Fielded. No problem. I'll also say that specific servers have gotten updated values that other servers have not gotten, so there's no consistency there, which is another problem to speak about. So, guess you got lucky getting server 32 when you started last May. So every now and then older servers will open up, like server 20's opened up to newer players multiple times. I can't give you the rhyme or reason of why, because nobody can really figure out why they decide to do it and when they do it. But that has happened multiple times. Do I know when spin SLBs are coming back? Not for sure. I'm hoping next month. And I don't want everything to be a spin SLB for forever again. I will say that, Scope Lee is right. There's definitely was some leaderboard fatigue. We had gotten tired of spin SLBs, but I don't think that we needed to have the Ducat style, which is so ungodly awful for us to know that either. Like, we didn't have to make it so terrible that we cried for leaderboards again. I think there was other ways that we could have done that, but I do not have a date for you, just that I know that they will return. If you want to give a real quick shout out to Robert, who just donated on Venmo to support me and my family. Thank you, Robert. For those that don't know, content creators like myself, we can't do what we can't do without y'all. Believe it or not, YouTube's not out here giving you, $100,000 a year or anything crazy. So we do rely on the viewers. Thank you so much for the support. Anything that I can do to help you out, I definitely want to do. And I try to answer everybody that I can. I try to answer every DM that I can. Thank you so much for supporting me and that Venmo donation you just did. If anybody else wants to do that, which is completely up to you, it is completely optional. There's a donate link, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. All of it goes directly to me instead of going to like YouTube Overlords or Scopely Overlords or something like that. Next month, if there's an event store, then RIP getting paid, only getting event store currency. Yeah, if there is an event store next month, most of your events are going to be built around event store currency. So Sam says old arcs have 10 epics for 1 mil points, 30 shards for 3 mil. How is getting 20 lucky shards better than 4? So you would get 28 if you hit the 20 mark, plus you're getting, again, if you hit the 20 mark, plus you're getting 60 other officer shards. So that's how the math supports it. Now, again, I do want to point out, because I've said this many times, I do not like this strategy. So I'm not defending it. All I'm doing is telling you the math works out. The math works out. That's all I'm saying. I'm not defending it. I'm just talking about the math side of it. The math of it works out. I see you, Big E. I'm just going to cloak on you and then leave. Stop stream sniping, Big E. Nobody likes a stream sniper. We see you. Go home. Go home, Big E. We see you. Don't you know that I can see you? Here. I was going to hit before. I should have cloaked before. Oh well. Stream snipers. In your opinion, what's the best faction to go? Literally doesn't matter, Steve. Quite literally does not matter. Whatever faction you want. It does not matter. Ships do not matter long term in this game. Officers and research do. So pick whatever you like. If you like Federation, go Federation. If you like Klingon, go Klingon. Doesn't matter. You wouldn't be able to see him if the pylon was in the faction store like Scopely promised. I'm pretty sure Big E has paid for the pylon cloaking. I'm pretty sure he's paid for it. I didn't get lucky. Riker, Sela, and Galron are no substitute for strike team. Yeah. They're not. Working on second billion lock. Nice. I am working on getting my Klingon to commended, which I am less than 4 minutes. I could technically do that tonight if I just grinded tonight, which I know I won't do. But if I would stop being lazy, I could do that tonight, which means that I could start finally pulling Romulan credits again, because I'm still below 100,000. And if I want to pull for the pylon, I'm going to need to start doing that. But will the ship skins that appear in DS9 event store show up again? They were limited to 5 each time. Seems like a scam to not have them available. All right, we really overused the word scam. It's definitely not a scam. It's a slow sourcing method. Definitely not a scam. It's not what the word scam means. But I don't know if those are coming back or not. But slow sourcing does not mean scam. We were really quick to like just drive stakes into the heart of Scopely. Like, I get it, but I also want to be fair with it. I don't want to critique hardcore just for the hell of it. It's definitely not a scam. I mean, it sucks, but it's not a scam. Click. Oh, I got to do more of these. If not show real chances, it's a scam. Nope. Again, that's not how that works. Not how that works. Defiant jacked up with Golden Cock Crew isn't bad for PvP. Yeah, it's okay. You would still rather use a Pylum or a Kelvin or a D4. Yeah. So let's go over here. I'm really trying to focus on territory a lot lately. So if I can't earn a ship skin before the ship gets upgraded to 5-star, then it's a scam, too slow. Again, that doesn't make it a scam. It just makes it too slow. It's not a scam. That's literally not what a scam is. Like, scam means a fraud, like you were supposed to get something and you didn't. You very clearly are getting it. Or, you know, it was an openly dishonest thing where you were never meant to get it. No, it's just slow sourcing. Yeah, it can suck, but it's not a scam. I think we'll get recruit SLB events again outside the incursion one, or do I think so? I was hoping for one. Yes, you will get them again. SLBs will return. Is there an event to level up past 50 like there was for 40? I mean, yeah, you do have to collect a currency to hit that, and that is I guess you could call it a lock. I guess you can call it a lock. Some servers have to open up to 51 plus. Mantis is a scam. Now that one, scam's not the right word, but there is a legitimate argument for people to get refunds, and people have gotten refunds because of the Mantis stuff being broken. Even Eco talked about this on the show. So that, while not a scam, is you not getting what you paid for, and a lot of people have gotten refunds because of that. Not telling y'all to go get refunds, but I am telling you that if you bought the Mantis, your experience has definitely not been what it should have been, and you've not gotten your money's worth. So, I just can't figure out Scopely's logic. They keep progressing so fast with new content, but slow sourcing just doesn't make sense. I can tell you the logic immediately. Jeez, we got a lot of stream snipers tonight. The logic is simple. This game makes like 90% of its money from new content. That's the logic. Simple as that. This game makes almost all of its money from new content. If there is not new content, this game will die. Simple as that. That's the answer. Like it or not, this game will die if it stops putting out new content every month. Doesn't mean that old content shouldn't be updated. Doesn't mean that old content is not what we do every day, but new content makes the money. That's why you get new content every month, no matter what. I commend you on your calm demeanor with regard to stream snipers. You get used to it, man. Like, being a content creator, this is just normal. Like, this is just, and you just got to put up with it. Like, this is life. Have you any idea what comes after DS9? Yep. Am I going to tell you? Nope. Is there a part 4 for this current arc? Yes. So there is a part 4 for DS9. And yeah, Denny, I agree with you. Old stuff should be sourced better. This is conversations that we have been having with the dev team, and they've been very receptive of. That's good. That's good. Fresco says another $5 so that you can tell me where to farm ship XP. Sure. No problem. It doesn't exist. I hate to be that guy. You can't really farm ship XP. The only place that can give you a little ship XP is away teams. This does not include you actually hitting ships for XP, but like the actual ship XP, there is not a grind spot for it. I'm sorry. Sorry. Do you think they should try to mix up events for future arcs? 100% yes. Yeah. 100% yes. They should definitely change things up. Do you know when they're going to give us the Matrix diodes to get the missions in the holodeck? Roboski, milestone 12. If you go into your battle pass, it should be milestone 12. Yeah, right here, milestone 12. No, yeah, just 12. Pretty sure just milestone 12. There is its lap mines. What are you talking about, Harrison? What are you talking about? Yeah, no problem, Robotsky. That's what I'm here for. Any words on December event store? We'll have to wait and see if there's an event store this December. That's all I can say. I cannot tell you definitively because of certain documents that I have signed. I cannot tell you definitively on whether or not an event store comes next month. I would say that if you look traditionally, there's been a lot of Christmas events, and traditionally, December has been an event store month. Traditionally, we will have to wait and see if that is the case. I'm not allowed to answer that question because that would be giving away future content. Saw the G4 miner video, and while I disagree for my situation, I am trying to grind the BPs for ROM and Klingon miners. Any systems have a better drop rate for them than Capital. If you want to grind out those miners, the BPs are going to drop deep space. You've got to grind in deep space, preferably warp 120 space. So get in the second brackets, really. So like Sozin and Fed space. Warp 120 space or Capital system. Yeah, Sean, you have to sign an NDA if you want to be an official content creator. Colin, good early morning in Scotland. It's actually very early in Scotland. You're up super early. Was it like 5 in the morning over there? Are they lowering the ship XP that's needed for miners? Someone mentioned it in my AC. Not that I'm aware of, no. I have no knowledge of that happening. Rev can't say if there's an event store next month, as Scopely wants you to buy today. One of the reasons that companies do not like to tell you what comes out in the future so that you will focus on what's here today. Yes, there is truth to that. Hey, B. Teeling, how you doing? What's your opinion on refinery mechanics, considering how much uncommon and above you need for everything post-ops 25? It feels terrible that you can do 2 pulls per day and just get common. Agreed. Part of why you got a guaranteed bonus refinery every month now. So, but I agree. Sourcing always needs to get better. Sourcing always needs to get better. 2:25 a.m. Man, my math is bad. I thought you'd be like 7 hours ahead, which even then that would have been 3 a.m. So bad math. Yeah. So Kyle, specific systems don't matter. It's warp range dependent, like the level of the hostile. Specific systems don't have like this system drops this blueprint. It's just the level of the hostile. Level 35, what level do I get deep space? Level 38 is the first level that you can start accessing deep space. Level 38 is the first level you can start accessing deep space. Did the music go off? My apologies, y'all. Thank you for the reminder. So I've been grinding in Mimpa and Garath. I can't seem to get any faction BPs to drop. That's just going to come down to Big E stream sniping. RNG. It's going to come down to RNG. All right, since Big E wants to be a butthole today, we'll just go focus somewhere else. Since he wants to be a butthole, we'll just go to Capital System. And if he comes there, then we'll fly somewhere else. Yeah, it has nothing to do with hitting a certain hostile or anything like that. It all comes down to the level of the hostile you're hitting has varied percentage chances to drop the blueprints, and they're just stupid rare. Like, they're literally stupid rare. And that's intentional. So, the people who have gotten those hostiles unlocked, like there are a lot of people who have gotten, I'm sorry, not hostiles unlocked, who have gotten those blueprints, very high level of hostiles ground. Like they killed a lot of hostiles. Is what it is, Mark. You got to get used to it. Forger, good to see you. Was preparing for spin events. Heroic SMS finished after just Ops and Academy. Guess I'll do the Science Lab next week. Yeah, so I did 2 buildings. I've got a lot of buildings to do. but I did my academy and my shuttle bay for the two that I started upgrading to get mine paid off. Remember to make your daily sacrifices to RNGs. There you go. Kyle says those are just good ones because they have survey/explore hostiles. That's fair too. That's fair too. It's a lot easier to farm the traders/explorers. But I just want to point out, because it's the same way in 3-star space, by the way. Like if you're curious, where do I grind a Gladius blueprint? Well, you'll want to go hit like about level 36 or higher Romulan systems, and that's the key. Traders obviously being the easiest to grind and the ones that you can grind the most before you go kabooing. Start upgrading your generators yet? My generators are actually one of the few things I have upgraded, so all my generators except for dilithium B are already at 44. So now I still got to do the warehouse and the vaults, but yeah, all AB generators are at 44 except for dilithium B. Now, FYI, for those watching, remember that the game will never care if you upgrade, say, dilithium D or tritanium E. It's always going to focus on, honey badgers over there, go down here. It's always going to focus on A and B only. What about pylum drops? Fielding, easiest way is just don't worry about it. Pylum ain't going to drop for you. Let's see. You get pylon BPs. Darren, you don't count. You're level 47. You already passed the level. People who want to grind pylon BPs are not level 47. People grinding pylon BPs are like level 45 trying to prep for it. Level 44. I mean, I guess it technically could be that level. What systems are you grinding to get the Saints to win? I wish I knew. The heck I wish I knew. All right. He's going there. I'll go over here. What? Why are you not at the Armada? What the heck? This game bug out? Oh, okay, there it is. ETS Scopely will break down more of the $100 to $50. I honestly can't answer that, Tommy. I've been trying. I'm asking for more of that. Can't guarantee it. Trying and asking for more. Oh, Honey Badger's got a big old Enterprise A in here and a pylon. Real MVPs. Clearing them out for all of us little people. At what level do I have to start using G4? Well, are you talking about like use it every day? I mean, level 40 plus. Like you don't really need G4 in the 30s. Now you will need G4 to unlock primes, which I'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. But yeah, my Valdor power is right at 10 million. Right at 10 million mark. If it's in a dock, it's like 11 something. But it can be stronger if I stat stack my PvP. Let's use my Armada. My Armada crew for the Valdor is about 10-4, 10-5. But on the PvE side, I'm just grinding. I don't have a lot of stat stack below decks or anything. And I haven't even taken a road to max tier. So it's not as good here. Lots of heavies. Shout out to Honey Badger who's killing heavies. He is killing lots of heavies. Think Honey Badger killed me when we were in incursions the other month? Very possible. What level should the Saladin be to go to Tygo Core? Alexis at least tier 8, but the main thing about Tygo Core is having maxed Pike Moreau Chin. You want Chin to be level 5 and Moreau to be, or tier 5, and Moreau to be tier 3. That's the spot. It has nothing really to do with the Saladin. I mean, to a degree, the Saladin doesn't have to be tier 9. but you need to have the right crew. Sean, I enjoy all those screenshots. And we just finished Tetracell White. See how we're doing on the daily. Click, click, click. Still got a few to go. Is there any way to get Dry Dock E for free? No. Dry Dock E is a pay-only feature. And to my knowledge, there is no plans to make it free-to-playable. It is just going to be a paid-for extra dock. Ricard, Beverly Chin. It's the same logic, Alexis. You need Chin to be max, and you really want Beverly to be high enough to be giving you max mitigation from stat stacking below Dex. It's a little bit easier to stat stack Beverly if you've got upgraded officers than it is to have them a row tier 3. But again, depends just then on can you take her to the tier or the stats needed. But you still need Chin to be tier 5. Need Chin to be tier 5. Hey, Howolf, how are you? Got my Trinity officers tier 4, having the max before 40 plus, or can wait to the 40s. I mean, if you do PvP or hostile bosses, having the max sooner is better. The sooner the better. They mentioned how to get the gem rare officer for free. There is not a meta to get Delico, what was his name? Teleteca? Hematech? Hemoglobin? There's not a way to get him for free this month. Only Pon. Pon has a completely free SMS path. Temecalukka does not. Ikatika, thank you. Yeah, that guy. That guy. The Jimadar. Only one has got a 100% free-to-play path guaranteed, and that is Pon. Ikatika does not have that. You will get Ikatika shards, like I've already gotten 2, but there's not a full unlock guaranteed through events and everything for him like there is for Pon. Pon's the only one. But you will get Ika shards, you just won't max them out. But you will get Ikatika shards. You're up to 9 Ika shards? Nice. Any Mantis versus Defiant picks yet? I've not seen any, no. I'm sure it's been done, but I haven't seen any. Finish my dailies. We need 3 more. And then I got to do swarms to finish the dailies. You got 82 out of 150? Well, just once you get it maxed out, Alexis, then you're ready to go. Nate, glad you're enjoying the music, my friend. Once you get it there, you're ready to go. You lucky pulled Weyoun with the SMS? Well, I want to say I hate you, but I'm happy for you. I'm jealous. I had the game design respond to my feedback. So they were actually very open to most of the feedback. A lot of the feedback that we gave them, they can't do like in 2 weeks. Like they can't just make some of the things better. But they actually really were open to a lot of the feedback. They said things like the making it better versus hostiles is a really good idea. You know, they gave good feedback on the fact that the 5-star sees no point in the Defiant. So there was a mix there. And everybody's stream sniping today. Well, I guess Hatchet probably came for Honey Badger. But everybody's coming after Rev tonight. Sunday night is hit Rev night, apparently. All right, I've got to finish. I only need like 2 more. I'm gonna come right back. Vorcha would be pretty if they would fix the freaking render out in space. It looks terrible. Vorcha, one of my favorite ships ever. Looks awful until they fix the render. Any real world feedback yelled on Explorer, Strike Team versus Interceptor? Most people feel that Strike Team Explorer is the weakest of the 3, but still a good PvP crew. A level 41 Ops, true free to play, got a lucky pull on Ducat from the Ultra turn-in. Nice. You know if there's any way to source Strange New Worlds La'an aside from when she was first featured that it only offered her in special events. Nope. There's your Mantis. Wait, yeah, Mantis. over here, this is what you get in your Mantis store. These are the ones that you need. I mean, but I doubt we'll get a satisfying answer beyond balance at that, but curious why they chose 8 rounds for morale. I mean, we got told extensive testing was done on all of them, so I figure Interceptor's weaker since Uhura just deletes one officer buff and prevents the boost from crit damage. So when I compare strike teams, I'm comparing them to themselves mostly. The biggest shortcoming of the Explorer team is that 8 rounds limited and the buffs really aren't that strong. Whereas the Interceptor buff is all built around a critical build. It's all a critical build essentially. Hull breach is great. Get some nice boom booms in there. But you look at like the Weyoun manipulate, the weapon shots, it's okay. Then you got Pawn here, which is just giving you critical chance, but not giving you the hull breach effect, which makes criticals really damaging. And then Ikatika here increases weapons damage by a very small amount. Meh. But then you get into Gold Ducat, which gives you the hull breach and weapons firing. And there's causing the hull breach. And then you got Mar, which lowers crit damage for other players who are probably going to run a crit build, which is one of the most popular things. And then your crit chance. So you're just creating a lot more damage with the Interceptor team than you are with the Explorer team. A lot more damage. Still, the strike team for all 3 of them are all better than most of your PvP crews, but I feel like that's the weakest of the 3. Crit plus hull breach, the whole fight is great. I'm still scratching my head why morale isn't ensured for the whole fight. I mean, those are the 2 main points. Point number 1, only 8 rounds. Point number 2, only damage based, not adding in a lot to counter the fact that hull breach gives you a big multiplier, a 1.5 multiplier past your already critical damage. Just makes the other one better. Speaking of Ducat, I saw something hilarious. A guy running Garrett, Damar, and Cisco Ball Officer for PvP. That's really weird. That don't math right. That don't math right at all. It's Strike Team Battleship that's OP, even compared to the other. I do think the Strike Team Battleship is the strongest of the 3. You can beat it. Strike Team Interceptor definitely takes it down. But I do feel like it's the strongest of the 3. I do feel like it's the strongest of the 3. I think I need one more. Literally one more transport. I just need uno transporto. Uno. One more. Thank you, Zinx, for hitting heavies. I appreciate you, buddy. I would do it, but see, I've got the checkings and the savings account, and just the way the math works out doesn't work for me. So with the new strike teams now out, would you have changed which G4 ships you went after? Nope, not at all. I originally predicted the Explorer strike team was going to transfer more PP damage to the shields while greatly boosting shield gen. Thoughts on my original idea? That would give a little bit more parity. I guess it depends on how much would have gotten transferred, because you're basically talking about Strange New World Pike's ability, but for PvP. Depending on how much got transferred, that could have been a better option, but I need just one more that finishes me out. Click, click, click. All right, so we're done. You can recall. Now I got to go got my cloak done. Now all I got to do is go do my swarms, and I am done for the day. Well, for an hour, and then do it all over again. Is Incursions going to be the only source in game for Strike Team Lawn, or is events possible outside? Technically, it's possible outside, Denny, but I will tell you that currently the plan that is there, and the only known plan that I know to tell you, is that Strike Team and the entirety of the strike team are going to be sourced through incursion. Can they do more? I've already provided a lot of feedback to that, but that is the primary sourcing as of now. And as you can expect, no, I don't like it. As you can expect, no, I don't like it. But it is what it is. I understand Scopely has to make money, but could they actually code in G6 masks to count as spin events and have our research work efficiently? Or is this done on purpose? I'm fine with either, but they should let you know beforehand. Shane, I agree that if you're going to buy the primes, those 6-star mats should count in the events. 100% agree with you. I have not gotten told either way on that particular subject. Katinga or Kelvin for second solo Armada ship at option 42. Doesn't matter. Pick your favorite. I would probably go Katinga because more hull health is more survivability. Battleships typically have more hull health. But when it comes to this game, the higher up in level you get, the less specific ships matter, the more research and officers matter. So really pick your favorites. Like, I'm going Klingon Romulan just because everybody goes Federation, so I wanted to be different. That's literally my whole logic. That's it. That's it. You finish all the dailies, the whole list? For sure. The reason, Steve, is one, I want to get that, hate calling it a loyalty badge, but yeah, get the loyalty badge so I can get those turned in every day, every 7 days. And then every month I'm getting my 30-day chest, or every 28 days get my 30-day chest. And then because I've also unlocked this Bajoran favor, I want to get this every day. I want to get this every day now. So that alone greatly incentivizes me to do it every day. What's the amount of particles you get when you scrap a Max Stella? 497,000? Something like that, 470,000? It's almost 500,000. Adam, my mind is blanking on the specific amount, but it's something like 470 or 409,000. Somebody in chat's going to say, hey, Rev, you're an idiot. It's this, and it'll be close. It'll be close. Fed ships are all ugly. Most of them are, honestly. Most of them are. I would agree with that. I do think that most fed ships in the game are ugly. I just made a video, by the way, on the Stella, an Outlaw update, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. 467.2 thousand. That sounds exactly right, Mark. That sounds exactly right. 467,000.2. But I did make a video recently, and I know that information's in that video because I made a video about when to scrap the Stella and when to go through that process. So, is there any chance they're looking into revamping PvE chests? They are. It's not something that's obviously happening super duper fast, but yes. But yes. I have no ETA on when those changes will actually take place, but I have had many conversations over the past 6 months about that subject. I do think that there is going to be an update. I have no idea. I have no idea. Do I have 7 yet? Oh, I got 6. Dang it. I need 7. G6 needs to do Fed Riot and offer better looking ships. Not that I'll ever reach G6. Giovanni, you'll reach it. Everybody here will. Everybody here will reach G6. Believe. I believe in y'all. Do y'all believe? I believe in you. Everybody here is going to make it. You're all going to make it. G6 in like 2034? Nah, you'll have G6. Everybody here will have G6 by 2026. For sure. Only 4 more years. You got this. I believe in every single one of you. I believe in all of you. I believe I can. My credit card doesn't. Clay, I'm just saying, man, if you want to max out your credit cards, I've got a mortgage that needs to be paid off. Just saying, if you're looking for something to max your credit cards on, I can help you out. I mean, if you just need something, I will assist you. Just to be helpful. I'll help you out. I'll know what the amounts of mass resources go in the game. I can see GC happening next year. Oh no, Nick, I can see G6 happening soon. I'm saying that we're going to get there. All of us are going to get there 2026. My mortgage comes due in September. It'll be my last payment. Congratulations, Wet Coaster. That is awesome. And I'm very excited for you. That is awesome. That is an amazing accomplishment. Am I alone in wishing that all the Armada research in the Starbase tree would be 1,000 times more worth it if it helped against Jem'Hadar solos? Carmadas or so yesterday. I still like Carmadas. So, I mean, sure, I would love all research to work for everything, but I still like Carmadas. I think that they did a bad thing by putting them so close together, like launching Carmadas and then solos like back to back, because it makes you forget about Carmadas. But I still think that both are good. You have G6 by the time G9 comes out? Oh, be quiet, Bart. When you're almost already G6. You're secretly level 54. We already know it. You're not fooling anybody. Faker. Imagine the rage when the USS Voyager becomes a G6 sped ship. Oh, that will be rage. Because to insinuate that the Voyager is stronger than the Enterprise, we're going to fight. I will literally fight a game dev who says that Voyager is stronger than the Enterprise D. I will literally fight them. I will fist fight them. I will. I will fist fight. I will punch somebody in the face. I'm sorry. That's just none of that stupidity, please. None of that level of stupidity. Armadas are okay if you do a single pull of lead every day. Fair. Rev drives to California to fight Eco in a dark alley. It don't have to be dark. I'll do it in a broad daylight. I don't care. Arrest me. I bet y'all will watch the video. I bet you that video will get a lot of clicks. Content creator fights community manager. Or if I can fight a game developer, I'll probably make it on the Kotaku website and stuff. Like I'll be on all the gaming websites and everything. It'll be worth it. For sure. Think about the clicks. That video might get 200, 300,000 views. Yeah, for sure. Worth it. Definitely. I might even stage it. It might even be fake. I might even stage it. You think YouTube would demonetize that video? Shh. Snitches get stitches, Robotsky. Snitches get stitches. Enterprise D and E were only able to defeat one Borg Q. Voyager took on several multiple occasions. Nick, I will kick you. Voyager is terrible. Okay? Voyager was arguably the worst series ever. It was terrible. And we are not going to defend that monstrosity. And if you're going to defend it, I'm going to kick you very squarely in a place that I don't talk about on this stream. Talk about it on Twitch, not here. When do you think the USS Vengeance will appear? No time soon. No time soon. I can't even see this Armada. I love this game. I love this game. Voyager's second worst series, the original series, animated series being the worst. I always lump the animated series in with TOS. Like I make them into one. Personal, how I do it, but cool either way. It would be clickbait because they would play Sock 'em robots as a fight. No, I mean, for SETI, if they make the Voyager stronger than Enterprise D, I'm not going to Sock 'em robot. I'm going to fight. Are Bashir, Dax, and Odo coming as officers? Just have to wait and see. You'll just have to wait and see. Discovery is the worst series by far. I'd have to strongly disagree. I would much rather watch Discovery than Voyager. Discovery season 1, admittedly, not good. Discovery seasons 2 through 4, and I would probably put 3 at the top personally, are better than any season Voyager ever had. Easily. Easily. Personal opinion. That's just me ranking them. Voyager had god-awful story. Star Trek writers have talked about how bad Voyager's writing is. Like, it's not like Rev's picking sides. Literal Star Trek writers have said Voyager was trash. Voyager is what it is. Nothing wrong with liking it. For Star Trek, it was bad Star Trek. It's still okay. It's not a bad series. I still watch it, have watched it multiple times. But would I rather watch Discovery Season 3 or Voyager Season 3? Discovery every single time. TOS had bad acting and horrible SFX, but the plot of the stories are A+. Yeah, stories in the original series, even if it gets kind of campy at times and stuff, a lot of the stories in TOS were pretty good. Most of the stories were bad. The acting wasn't necessarily bad in Voyager. There was some bad acting, but it wasn't necessarily bad. The plots of Voyager, though, were so outlandish and so bad. That's my problem with Voyager. You really like Discovery Season 4. The first contact with the true alien species was fascinating. Don't spoil it, but I thought there's really good moments there. If you don't include Discovery and Picard, I would agree with you. The new stuff, not including STFC, is terrible. Again, Colin, I don't agree, and most people don't agree, but that's okay for you to not like them. Like, Picard Season 2 was really good, personal opinion. Picard Season 1 was really good, with the last episode being very lackluster. Like, the finisher of Season 1 was very meh. But Season 1 of Picard, I thought was really good writing. Season 2 was really good. Strange New Worlds, amazing, easily the best. Lower Decks, hilarious and very true to Star Trek. Prodigy, a great show that, even though it caters more to a younger audience, still, I think a strong story. Picard looks like Season 3 is going to be insanely good, but we'll see. Gilda says Picard Season 1's all right, Season 2's garbage. My rating of Season 2 will depend heavily on how Season 3 finishes. I didn't mind Season 2, but either way. Voyager, when it was good, was fantastic, but then there's Threshold. Then there's Year of Hell. The only part of DS9 that I'll rewatch was the Dominion War. The rest I'll pass on. Of the 7 seasons of Deep Space Nine, seasons 1 through 3 are very tough to get through. Seasons 4 through 7 are great. Joseph says, my problem with the newer series is that they try to bring current world problems into them when the whole vision of Star Trek was the future that moved beyond those issues. Joseph, that is 100% inaccurate. That's literally what they did in TNG, the original series, Deep Space Nine. They literally did that all the time. That's literally what Star Trek is. Gene Roddenberry said that's specifically what Star Trek is. And like, again, if you don't like that, it's okay to not like that Star Trek does that, but that's literally the vision of Star Trek. That's its purpose. That's what it's supposed to do. Star Trek is supposed to make you look at current problems, why this is a problem, and why you need to get past it. That's literally the vision of Star Trek. Like, almost all of the original series is current world problem built into the future. And again, if you don't like that, that's fine. But that's what Star Trek is. Colin says that it's not just because I'm an old git. I do actually like the Kelvin movies. No, that's fine. Everybody's allowed to like what you like. I'm not shaming you for liking or disliking what you like. See, because Mark says the new generation of films were god-awful. I like the third movie of the Kelvin movies. I don't like the first one, and the second one is better the more I watch it. Well, Joseph, no. In TOS, they were still dealing with a lot of the problems. So, Dia's Cast is an awesome episode. Noted. TOS did so many episodes that were Cold War allegories, civil rights, and race allegories. So on. Yeah, exactly. They showed them as ongoing issues. I mean, the Klingons were a great example. I mean, there was a lot of Cold War themes in the middle of the Cold War, in the middle of Vietnam going on. How do you compare Into Darkness to Wrath of Khan? The best way to do that, personal opinion, is make them two different movies. Into Darkness will never live up to Wrath of Khan, ever. If you can see Into Darkness as its own movie, Benedict Cumberbatch does a really good job with his acting and does a really convincing job as a villain, even though he's not technically the villain. If you can separate Into Darkness from Wrath of Khan, Into Darkness is a good movie. If you always see Into Darkness as a Wrath of Khan clone, you will never like Into Darkness. If you can't separate those two, it'll never live up to that standard. The Wrath of Khan is arguably one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time. It's a great story. It actually has great cinematics. It has amazing effects for its time. It actually has science behind it. It's a beautifully made movie. If you see Into Darkness as a copy, you will never like it as much. If you can take that away, you will like it. Personal thought, because the acting and everything is actually really good, and the story is strong, and the plot twist is decent. There are still problems with Wrath of Khan, like the fact that Chekhov never actually saw Khan, so how did Khan recognize his face? Let's just ignore that plot hole. You know, if you can separate those two, it's easier to appreciate Into Darkness. I still don't like the first movie, though. I don't like the first Kelvin movie. And I love the third Kelvin movie. I thought the third Kelvin movie was the most Star Trek of all of them. I grew up with Wrath of Khan. Honestly enjoyed Into Darkness because of it. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's because I thought Benedict did an amazing job as an actor. So, like, how can you take that away from him? Charles says the problem with that is Into Darkness was explicitly a remake of Wrath of Khan. Yes and no. The story is similar, but it happens different. The story happens different. Now, there are definitely pieces I hate from the Kelvin movie. Like, and I've talked about this for years. I hate that they make the trip from Kronos to Earth in like 15 seconds. It is mind-bogglingly annoying that they go from Kronos to Earth in like one warp span. Infuriates me. That part is bad. But also, Wrath of Khan is bad for having the protagonist or the antagonist introduced in a way that technically is wrong. Earbugs, while being cool, that scene with Khan and the earbugs is actually really cool. The problem with that is it makes no sense if you actually watch C. Chekhov was never there. Like, Khan never saw him. He never saw the face to remember it. It doesn't make any sense. So there's things that you got to look past in both of them. I still think Wrath of Khan as a standalone movie is an amazing movie. And I don't blame that one like scene as an example as a reason to make Wrath of Khan bad. So even though I hate the Kronos to Earth warp thing, it's an alternate timeline. Apparently we've got transwarp now. So Voyager never had warp speed plot issues. Yeah, exactly. Voyager never had any warp speed plot issues. Exactly. Yeah, and how they got right next to Kronos and nobody knew they were there. Yeah, for sure. Mark says the Chekhov thing is easily explained that Khan met him off screen. But Mark, that's not canon. Anytime we judge a show, it has to be based on canon. Because if that's your logic, Mark, hear me out. When the Narada goes back in time, transwarp technology is a known thing. So if that's your argument, then technically transwarp technology got sent back to the past and now they have it, and maybe they only have it for limited runs and limited uses. If we're going with off-screen stuff, which is basically like memory beta versus memory alpha, then technically anything's possible. The Warp 10 Voyager episode is the worst. I don't even know if it's a contender, Saul. I really think that the Warp 10 Voyager episode is right there with the Pike two-parter in the original series. The Pike two-parter episode and the Warp 10 episode, those might tie together as the worst Star Trek episodes ever. Those two are so bad. They are so bad. So bad. Oh. Transwarp beaming range, Earth or Kronos. Hey, I'm just saying, we can all agree that the Kelvin movies did not have as good Star Trek technobabble as a lot of Star Trek. That is a fact, and I will agree with you. Also, what's the point on ships in the Kelvin timeline when you can just transport from Earth to... Yes, this is true. Who needs ships when you've got Stargates? I think the writers got confused what show they were working on. What happened to the Beagle? Everybody wants to know. Without question, the worst Star Trek episode ever, the Space Hippies of TOS. Nah, Space Hippies is not worse than than Pike. That is not worse than Pike. To me. Oh man. There's multiple TNG episodes worse than Menagerie, Sub Rosa, Shades of Grey. I guess you can say that if you throw season 1 up there, yeah, there's definitely bad episodes, but solar system transwarp to a solar system transwarp, where it did. Again, yeah. Again, we can pick apart things. The main point I make is that we can pick apart. Shades of Grey is season 2. You're right. Now, Sub Rosa, I did not remember what season it was, but I know Shades of Grey was season 2. But really, TNG needed Gene Roddenberry to stop writing stories, and then it got good. But there are bad episodes in every series. Some have more bad than others. For example, I'm forgetting the name of the episode, but the episode of DS9, but season 1, where they're doing the little kids game, Alan Moraine, 1, 2, 3, that stupid episode. That's one of the worst episodes of Trek ever. What is the name of it? But where they're playing the stupid kids games. One of the worst Star Trek episodes of all time, in my opinion. Hate it. It's terrible. Terrible. Right up there with Warp 10 space lizards. But yeah. How can you get worse than singing Space Hippies? Easy. Literally, space lizards and babies. But then we miraculously flip them back and de-evolve them with an emergency medical hologram. If you want to talk about plot holes, if we can literally de-evolve you, why does anybody die in Star Trek? Why does anybody die in Star Trek? Why do we not just put everybody in a transporter pattern, reset them to how they were right before they had cancer, and now they're healed? If we can de-evolve you from being a Warp 10 space lizard, why does anybody die? Literally, if a person dies on an away mission, why not just remake them with the transporter? You're literally just taking their molecules for what they were here, because you've got them recorded, and you're basically cloning them. Which brings along the whole discussion: is transporting a person actually cloning them, and are they the real person, or are they a copy at the end of the runway? Is transporter technology just copying? So, plot holes abound in Star Trek. The Riker clone? Exactly. So, ethics and morality come to the fore of the 2-hour stream. They did talk about that in Lower Decks, which is one of the reasons I love Lower Decks, because Lower Decks addresses some of these things in a funny way. So maybe you want to address the elephant in the room or not. While Server 77 is relatively new, I'm quite sure we've lost half the player base in the last 4 months. Is Scopely doing something to keep that from happening in the future? I don't have an answer to that question. I can tell you that they're working on things, and that they've heard how negative the sentiment is, and that they are working on improving that. I cannot tell you yes, they are definitely fixing their problem. I'm waiting like most of you are. A lot of the conversations I have, I can't share a lot of details about. There are improvements happening. I hope they happen sooner rather than later. Really, Giovanni, I'm very curious to see that data. I would love to see that data. If they're going to keep opening new servers, they need to have part of the arcs have content for newer servers. Agreed, Joseph. Agreed. Yeah, Giovanni, please ask. Have you heard about any problems with Barkley? I've had a couple times when PC shows a higher capacity than I was able to keep when I was killed. No, I haven't, but I also don't know many people who have Barkley or have tried to get him. Broccoli was another very disappointing addition to the game. Answer to World Hunger also be transporters. True. We'll just keep cloning the same cow over and over. Copies of copies of copies. All right, guys, we've gone over 2 hours, which I don't normally do on YouTube streams. I've got to make a video for tomorrow morning. So I've got to start my video for tomorrow morning. So if y'all want a video, I've got to wrap up. I appreciate y'all being here. I think we've had a great time. I love when we talk Star Trek. And I love when we actually get into some of the episode discussions. We need to do that more. That's a lot of fun. So I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all so much for being here. If you'd like to support the channel, hit the like button before leaving. Leave a comment after this video post because that really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Share this out with every other Star Trek fan and Star Trek Fleet Commander. And if you want to help out, donate, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Y'all been amazing. Y'all been a wonderful audience. Hopefully I helped you out. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on tomorrow's video, which hopefully you like because a lot of you have been curious about primes and what ones are good, what are important, etc. We'll answer that tomorrow morning. You're all the first ones to know about it. So this is why you come to a live stream. Thank you. We'll catch you. I'm gonna wrap it up now. I'm really shutting up. I promise.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.